All right, but we do have Nico Ali Walsh in studio. Nico, welcome, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you. We do appreciate you joining us. Coming off a great victory at the MGM Grand. You know, talk to us. Obviously, I saw the emotion in your face. You were very excited, very happy to get that knockout. Obviously, you set that up and you were able to make it happen. You know, how do you feel about your performance?
Oh, man, I was over the moon. I wasn't expecting it to go that way, but I had trained so hard for that fight that I knew I was going to win. I just wasn't expecting it to be in that fashion, you know?
No, definitely it was a phenomenal fashion. I'm curious, though, because this is home for you, right? So you must have had a lot of family and friends in the building for you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had a ton of people. I saw my third grade teacher was there.
Really?
Like, yeah, I had a ton of people there to support me, and even the people that I didn't know that were in the crowd supporting me, maybe just because of Vegas or boxing or my grandfather. It was awesome to just feel that energy.
No, definitely the energy was in there, especially after the knockout. Just turned pro last year. Seems like it's been longer.
Yeah.
You know, what are you looking forward to accomplish for your career here in the second year of you being pro?
Man, I just want, the biggest thing is staying active, because when fighters, you know, wait a while between fights, that inactivity kills them. And yeah, I just want to stay active. And it's crazy to think that I haven't even been pro for a year. Like,
you haven't.
I turned pro. My first pro fight was in August, so we haven't even hit that year mark yet. And I've made so many improvements so far. So, man, I'm looking forward to just the whole journey.
And you're done with college now, right? Graduated?
I'm graduating next Saturday.
Okay, so now, even though you've been applying yourself and been able to dedicate yourself to boxing, now you won't even have school to worry about. It could be 100% boxing for you, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, that would take so much off my chest, because school is just, I mean, at this point, it's just annoying, because it's just assignment after assignment. I was doing stuff. I was doing group projects, and I had to get stuff done this last fight week. And it's just, it's not fun.
Well, thankfully, you know, you will be done with that, graduating next week, and kind of sigh of relief. You excited to walk that stage, you know, finally?
Yeah, I just want to get it over with. I want to, you know, my life is boxing now, so I want to keep it that way and just keep making improvements and keep fighting.
What'd you major in?
Business entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Which you can't go wrong with boxing, you know?
No, definitely not. And I was only asking because, you know, I'm like, why, you know, still be in school if, you know, obviously you're boxing, right?
Well, honestly, my family, even my grandfather was like this. They were like, you know, school's absolutely number one. So I could never, I would get disowned if I left school. So I had to make it work somehow. I had to.
Now, obviously, being who you are, being, you know, the son of the greatest of all time, what pressure have you had to work?
Grandson.
What'd I say?
Son of.
I got what he meant.
Grandson.
I know. But I love giving him shit.
Perfect timing this.
Perfect timing.
Nico, apologies. I do want to apologize, even though the audience may not know I was not here.
No, of
I
course.
don't want to disrespect you, obviously.
You're good.
Our guest ran over. We did want to at least let them out. But catch me up, Danny. Where you at?
Oh, no, we're just talking about, obviously, the latest performance that he put on. I'm like, it feels like you've been pro so much longer. Hasn't even been a full year.
I've been very intrigued to know why you're not with Sugar Hill anymore. Was that just like a one-time working out with him, or you didn't mesh well and you're with another trainer?
Oh, it's definitely not that we didn't mesh well, because Suge is like family.
Okay.
But honestly, no, he just got a lot on his plate with Tyson. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than being the heavyweight champion of the world. And I really hope that he says he's retired. I really hope he's not. But yeah, no, me and Suge are still extremely close. We're like family.
And I hope there's no disrespect to your current trainer and or team, but like you said, he's busy with Tyson Fury. A lot of speculation coming directly from Tyson that he's no longer fighting. So is that still something you're looking forward to, the possibility of working with him? Or for right now, are you good with your team?
It's always a possibility to work with Suge again. I mean, whether I work with him or not, he's still a part of my life. Even outside of boxing, we just hang out. So, but yeah, I mean, anything is possible. Like I said, I really hope that Tyson's not actually retired, like he says.
So there's some fights you still want to see with him involved?
Definitely. I mean, everyone wants to see him in Usyk, but I just want to see him in general. He's one of the most charismatic guys in sports today. I love seeing him.
Fantastic talker. I want to ask, though, man, I don't know if my co-host did. I'm sure this is going to be one of those questions that feel maybe a little bit redundant because of who you are, but why did you get into boxing? Like, I look at you and all I can think of is like the Rocky scene. What movie was that when he gets robbed for his code and he's got the little slip-on earring, Rocky's son, he's getting bullied in school, and it's like, because you're so not that you're weak.
Is it Creed?
No, it's definitely not Creed. It's the Rocky movie where he's got a little son. It doesn't matter. The point is, because of who you are, it's like, why add that pressure to your show? Like, everyone wants you. As soon as you came out, it's like, oh, he's a boy. You're probably being pushed over there. Was it you that were drawn to boxing? Do you feel the pressure because of your grandfather? How difficult is it for you?
I mean, I don't know if I feel the pressure of my grandfather. I feel like every fighter feels pressure because, I mean, they are legitimately putting their lives on the line, and everyone's got their own story. So I feel like I feel the same pressure as every fighter, so if it's not me, some other fighter would feel the pressure because they're doing it for their country or they're doing it for their family. So, I mean, it's the same. I mean, he's always been my grandfather to me. I don't see him like you guys do.
But you do know, I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you go into the gym, it's time to spar. Everyone's trying to take your head off because of who you are, right?
No, and it's been
they want to make a name off of you.
That's the only thing that I've noticed that is different from me and other fighters is that people are quick to hate me more than an average fighter because everyone wants to be able to say that they knocked out Ali's grandson or even Ali's daughter, because that's how it was when Layla was fighting. And it sucks, but I mean, we're in boxing anyway. They're trying to knock you out irregardless. So but that's tough.
So what made you get into this sport? Like, why boxing for you?
No one pushed me towards boxing. I was just around it because of my grandfather. Like, even when I was 3 years old, they were like throwing Everlast gloves on me, and I was like holding the heavy bag for my grandfather, hitting the bag, and like stuff like that I don't even remember, that I just see videos and pictures of. I think that's when the bug of boxing got in my system.
Wow. I'm just shocked, man, because most fighters have this inner city story.
Yeah.
And again, I relate you to the movie because it's like, even though Ali isn't your father, we want to assume, we don't know your personal life, but we assume you're okay. You and your family are okay. You don't, and I'm using air quotes, need to box.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, with boxing, the normal story you get is like the Mike Tyson story where he's from Brownsville and he's fighting to get out of poverty.
Exactly.
He's fighting to change his family's life. And, unfortunately, that's how it is with boxing. That's how a lot of these guys are able to make it out of, their situation. But with my grandfather, that wasn't his story. His family wasn't well off, but they were like, I mean, middle class. They were fine, So my grandfather ended up boxing because someone stole his bike. You know, that was his story. You know, he wasn't fighting to get out of poverty at all. So I feel like me and my grandfather have a similar story. No one stole my bike, but I'm doing it for the legacy.
Oh, so you want to continue the story of?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing to me, and I love boxing. I love boxing to death. But if my grandfather wasn't a boxer and he didn't have that legacy, I wouldn't feel as like impactful being in boxing. I don't think.
And so, I don't know. Do you feel that it's like your duty as the male to continue the legacy?
I honestly now I do.
Okay.
Before I started, no, but now that I started, I will never start something and not give it my all. So now that I started it, it's my duty now. It's my duty now, and I'm taking it all the way I can.
Wow. So how many amateur fights do you have?
Ah, man, I had like 25, which is like
Not a lot.
nothing compared to these guys today. So
when did you? Because if you're in the gym at 2 and 4 holding the heavy bag, when did you actually pick up the gloves to begin training and want to box?
that was when I was 3 years old in the gym with my grandfather. That was just me hanging out with family.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't the one putting the gloves on me. They were. But I started liking boxing when I was about 10. I did an exhibition with like no training for a children's cancer foundation. And that was my first entrance into like a crowd, what it felt like to be scared before, you know,
Before
going
a fight.
into the ring. Yeah. So that was where I got my start. I did a couple of those.
You would consider those smoker events? Or you said they were
they were charity.
Okay.
They were charity exhibitions, but it's definitely like something off the
headgear
record.
or no headgear?
Headgear.
Okay.
It was like an amateur fight without being
On the
Sanctioned.
record, yeah.
Without being sanctioned.
Right.
So what was it? 10 ounce, 12 ounce, 16 gloves?
Ooh.
Bro, you
Don't
was
remember.
10. You, think
You got me there.
remember
I
that?
have no idea. I
No, but it was an
think-
exhibition. It could have been 16s.
I believe they were 16s.
See?
If I'm not wrong, because I just remember the gloves looking huge on me. But yeah, I mean, back in those days, I was just that's where I started loving boxing. When I turned 14 is when I took it seriously.
Oh, at 14.
Yeah, but it was so hard finding amateur fights here in Vegas. I had to travel for most of my fights, and still I didn't get a lot. You know?
Wait, you're local?
Yeah, I live here.
I've seen you in the Top Rank Gym, but I never knew you were so born and raised.
No, I was born in Chicago,
Okay.
but I left Chicago
wow.
when I was like 3 or 4, and I've been in Vegas ever since.
There's a picture of your grandfather that for many years was like my screensaver, like my favorite picture of him of all time. And he's like on top of a building, just shirtless with his hands up. And it's like the Chicago skyline. And a lot of people don't know how much time, you know, he spent in Chicago and lived out there. And
Yeah, no, because we got family out there.
My
in
co-host
Chicago.
is from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago. That's why I like Chicago, that picture specifically. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm from
No, Chicago's dope, and I go out there now because it's just that's where my family's at still, Chicago.
So 14, you take up boxing. When do you know?
Or take it serious.
Take it serious.
Take
yeah.
it serious. When do you know now, I want to be pro?
Honestly, I was just that crazy kid that right when I turned 14 and took up boxing, I was like, I want to be pro. I knew I wanted to be pro right then. And no one believed me. No one in my family actually wanted me to do it except for my grandfather. And many times I tried to like quit almost. And when I tried to quit, I would ask him because I had his blessing to box. And I wanted his blessing to not box. So I was trying to get him to say, hey, listen, I wouldn't do it. Because that's what he said to Layla, because he thought Layla was too pretty to box, which I understand. No one wants to see their daughter fighting. But I wanted him to do the same thing to me. And it would have just made it easier for me to just be like, okay, I'm out of boxing. But he never would. He would just say, keep going, keep going. And that's what kept me and got me to where I'm at now.
And who's your manager?
Right now, I'm just my family kind of manages me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we try to keep everything in the family.
That's great. So you guys went straight to Top Rank, or they came to you?
No, we went to Top Rank because obviously Bob Arum promoted my grandfather, and we've known Arum for many, many years, and it was the perfect fit with like the story. I'm huge on tradition, so yeah, I couldn't see myself with any other promoter.
Absolutely. And they have fantastic matchmakers and will bring you along properly. So you're at 160 pounds. Do you think you will remain at that weight for your first title shot, or do you see yourself growing before you get that first title shot? Because you're still a very young guy.
Yeah, I'm only 21, so I don't see myself staying this size forever. Definitely.
Long enough to win a title, though?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I am naturally a bigger dude. Like as a kid, I was always chubby. So I don't know. I think I'm not done growing. I think when it comes time to do a title shot or something, I may be at 160. If not, then I mean we'll just have to see. It's hard to tell.
So what made you do braids?
I've always done, that's kind of my signature now. I've always, since I was a little kid, I would get cornrows because my hair has always been long. Even as an amateur, when I would fight, I would get braids. So that's.
But are you cutting it?
Thing.
Are you cutting it? Because I mean, it should be Keith Thurman long if it's like.
Oh no! I am cutting it because I don't want it to get past a certain length. But I can't be fighting with even the length it's at now without braids. I can't be fighting with my hair all over the place. For sure. That's kind of been my signature for a while now.
So strength and conditioning. Who are you using to get you prepared to do battle?
Yes, for this last fight, I used this guy, Coach Manny, and I've known him for so many years. I knew him back in high school, and he prepared me for this fight better than I ever have. And he was in my corner for the fight alongside my head trainer, and it was just fun when everybody links up and everybody's vibe matches up. Then it turns out to be a perfect performance like it was.
And who's the head trainer?
Richard T. Sloan. He worked with Joe Frazier. He worked with Emmanuel Stewart, Lennox Lewis. He's from the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the UK. Okay.
Wow. How'd that connection come about?
We've known him forever. I've known him since I was a little kid, but he paints. He's most known for
Sloan art, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like,
he's most known for his painting. He's very modest when it comes to his boxing experience, but he was Joe Frazier's protege, and he lived with Joe Frazier for a period when he came to the States. And that's another cool story that I'm training with one of Joe Frazier's fighters.
Going back to those braids, you think you'll ever have to cut them to make weight like Sean Porter? Did you see that?
I didn't see that, but I don't think I'll ever make it to that point. I really hope not. I really hope not.
It was a title fight, to be fair. So do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, but I really hope I don't make it to that point.
What famous or what stories do you hear of your grandfather, or have you heard from your grandfather that you like to go back and think about? Like, I'm sure there's been plenty of great stories that you've heard.
Honestly, the stories I heard of back in the day, he was wild. He was funny. I mean, back in his boxing days, there's so many stories, but the best stories that I know are the ones that I physically saw. It was like, one of my favorite memories is when we took him to see King Kong
in theater,
and but the crowd went crazy, and it was so weird because I was 7 or something, 8 maybe, wow. And I still am not understanding this whole grandfather, people know him thing, and it was just weird to see everyone in the theater just staring at him and shouting Ali and that kind of thing. It was so weird. Just something as simple as going to the movie where I didn't think it would happen. So,
any truth to a rumor that Ali owned some sort of portion of Top Rank?
I don't know. You would have to ask my mom about that. I don't know.
Well, we got some questions from the people. They knew you were coming in. Rue in the 504, which is New Orleans, he says, on the Saturday broadcast, Tim Bradley said you become more dedicated to the sport. Care to expand?
I love Tim Bradley, and he is a huge motivation to me. Boxing is legitimately my life. I'm married to boxing right now, so if I did anything else in my life, it would just be a mistress, and you can't have that. So, boxing is my life. I eat, sleep, and breathe boxing now, but I do it because I love it, and I do it because that's what it takes to get to where I want to go.
Absolutely. Brandon Lenz, what are your thoughts on Michel Ali Rivera basically branding himself as the new millennial version of your grandfather?
I didn't know who that was. An interviewer asked me that question the other day, and I saw a picture of him. It looks like he's a super fan of my grandfather. What I said to the other guy was, when you've got someone like my grandfather who's as big as he is, and everyone loves him, you get people like that who wanna be him, and they want to talk like him, look like him, dress like him, and I think that's what he's doing.
It's funny you bring that up. Broadway Joel said he did an interview with Michelle, and Michelle said that PBC, it was them that were pushing for that, and certain people in PBC wanted him to go as far as changing his name.
Ooh,
yes, but also let me get a screen share. What do you think of the resemblance? I do need Malik to slide.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I get it.
Zoom? Want me to zoom in more?
Yeah, he did the hair.
Got the flat top and everything.
Oh, man, yeah. He did the hair, the shorts. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm glad you took it that way because people,
I don't think you really think it's cool. I think you're going like the politically correct route.
Man. I think flattery, people get offended by flattery, but like that's what this is. He idolized like your grandfather.
Yeah, he idolized him. That's
the thing too. I don't know. Maybe Danny's right and you don't feel that way inside, but your grandfather isn't just yours anymore. You know what I'm saying? He belongs to boxing.
He never was. I mean, but it is obviously a little weird for me to see someone dressing like him. That's obviously the case. But if we go on the strip right now, you'll see 6 or 7 Elvises and you'll see 10 Michael Jacksons.
Exactly.
It's kind of the same thing.
Have you ever been to Lindo, Michoacan? It's a restaurant out here.
I have.
So the one in Henderson?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I was when the news broke of your grandfather passing away.
Really?
Yo, I remember just like crying, yo, and and it was like drink after,
Wow.
I was so sad, and that was the day before the Salido versus I think Bandito Vargas, and that was at the StubHub, and obviously they did like the tribute and they did the 10 count. And I remember that fight being like such a war, like all out battle. And
they were probably mad.
Man,
just upset.
I mean, the whole world was. How'd you take the news? Obviously, it must have been extremely difficult.
Well, we all knew about it. We were with him. We were with him when it happened. But yeah, thank God. I mean, we all flew out to Arizona and we were with him in those last moments. So it was beautiful the way it happened. I'm grateful that we were. It wasn't a situation where it was like, oh, you get a call and you know what's happened, because that's happened to many other family members,
Of course.
and loved ones of mine. And no, but the situation with him, it was very beautiful. It was a perfect send off, and yeah, that time period is kind of a blur because there was so much going on. But yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful family time for us.
I got Young Tigre in San Antonio says, today, who is the cash cow of boxing in your opinion?
I think Canelo is. I really do. I think Canelo, I met him for the first time yesterday, and I've idolized him for, oh my God, so many years.
At the Top Ring gym?
Yeah.
How did that go?
It went awesome. I mean, I didn't want to meet him because people say, you know, don't meet your idols. Because most of these guys
Can't live up to what your
they
expectation.
can't at all. They can't at all, because I expect everyone to be like my grandfather. My grandfather treated everyone like a best friend. And people aren't like that. I've met people that I looked up to who were just jerks, and I'm like, I'm done
Very
looking
much
up to
so.
people. So I didn't want to meet Canelo, but I met him and his team, and they were just awesome people, which makes it even worse for someone like myself, because now I idolize him even more.
Was that Frank setting it up, or did you say fuck it, I'm gonna just go out my
No, I showed up there, and I actually went to the gym just to hang out with Frank because I was getting stir crazy. I'm supposed to be off this week, no training, but I was like, I cannot be sitting at my house anymore. I've got to go to the gym because it's a sickness at this point. And I went to the gym.
That's a great
and
thing.
He was there. He was at the gym at that time, and I was like, I'm not gonna bother him. But then Frank was like, yeah, let me introduce you. And
did he know who you were?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he knew who I was. I don't know if it was from this fight last weekend because he was at the fight.
He was there.
And Oscar Valdez knew me because I had met him before the fight, before like a month before his fight.
Okay.
So his team kind of knew of me, and I think this fight last Saturday may have solidified it. I believe. But that's awesome in itself.
So
the fact that he knew me.
So no disappointments meeting Canelo.
No, thank God. Because I really did not want him. I did not want to ruin the image I had of him, and it didn't. He's even better than I thought.
You spoke about doing this for legacy. The money that you can make in this sport, does that motivate you at all?
Money's never motivated me. Maybe that's a bad thing, but yeah, no, money's never motivated me. So no.
So it's safe to say that you won't be rushing to try to get Canelo in a fight before he retires. Because obviously you being so young, you're so far out, but at 60, already saying you might not be able to win a title at 6, like you're putting yourself in a weight class where there could be a possibility. I mean, Canelo went as far as yesterday saying that maybe he'll fight Jake now in 2 years.
Oh, he said that? Really?
Absolutely. So if Jake is now all of a sudden an opportunity in 2 years, the grandson of Ali can be a big commercial fight if you get the number of fights that doesn't look crazy for Canelo. But you might not be rushing to that. Like you said, you're not motivated by money, which would be your biggest fight, obviously.
90
You let that man retire, I don't think anybody can get you the money that he's going to be able to get you.
Oh man, yeah, you know what? It's weird. It's weird that he said he would fight one of the Paul brothers in a couple years. I don't think that would.
He
ever
literally
happen.
said yesterday, what's the MMA guy?
Who?
They asked him about the heavyweight, and he was like,
Ngannou?
Ngannou.
Yes.
No, not Ngannou.
No,
Usman. Kamaru Usman.
And he's like, I'll fight anybody, you know?
Yeah.
And then the Usyk thing came out. He's like, I'll fight him at 201.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was definitely on a...
He was just on a warpath yesterday. I think if I asked him if someone asked him to fight me yesterday, he would have said yes. It's fight week. He's ready to fight anybody.
Yeah.
No, I honestly believe it. Like I say it all the time. Like, I mean, you were saying that you felt.
Yeah, I think he could beat Rivas.
Oscar Rivas, who's the
Canelo.
I think Canelo can beat anyone.
I love it.
Yeah, I think Canelo can beat anyone.
Man,
You're asking the wrong person.
We got Israel Weber. He says, I was fortunate to see you live in Tulsa for your debut. I actually got to ride in the hotel shuttle bus with your grandma afterwards.
Oh, wow.
Nice lady. When next in Oklahoma, lunch on me. So no question, just a message.
That's crazy. That seems like so long ago. The
debut?
That was what, August?
That was August. It's not even a year. I'm not even going to try to count how many months that was.
Wow. Christopher Riley, what is it like being Ali's grandson and knowing the additional pressure that it brings to have to live up to Ali's legacy?
Honestly, I don't feel the pressure of being the grandson because to me, it's just my grandfather who people happen to know and love. But I don't feel like I'm forced to live up to anything. I think I've already lived up to what I wanted to, just turning pro and having the career I've had so far. So there's no pressure in living up to anything because I'm very happy with what I've done so far.
Dual Ingram and Compton, has your experience with Top Rank been anything but professional when it comes to business? As a well-known fighter is suing the company because of unfair treatment based upon race. He's obviously talking about Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because I have so much respect for Terrence Crawford. He's one of the pound for pound greats today too. My experience with Top Rank has been nothing but professional.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Top Rank because of that. And yeah, I don't know what his situation was. I can't speak for him, but it's very sad to hear that. It really is. You know,
Keyshawn said the same thing. He just he said, everybody is different, and he feels that Top Rank believes in him. Mm-hmm.
And they do. And Keyshawn is a special talent in boxing. He's taking the Lomachenko route of boxing, which nobody takes. He's going to be fighting probably for a title sooner than any of the other fighters.
Mm-hmm. We have James Valdez in San Antonio, Texas. Is there a particular trainer that would love the opportunity to train with? I don't know if he meant you would love the opportunity because he didn't word it that way. He says who and why this particular trainer. So yes, he's asking you who would you like to train with? I guess outside of Sugar, if that became an opportunity.
I would love to just work with Eddie Reynoso, honestly. I met him for the first time today as well, or yesterday as well, when I met Canelo.
But would you be willing to relocate to San Diego if you had to train with him?
I thought if the question is just to see what it is for like a week.
Oh, okay, just a week.
Then definitely, because I'm so loyal to my trainer that I wouldn't change trainers. But yeah, I mean, it would be great to see how he works. It'd be great to train with Canelo or even.
Did you ask him yesterday, like Canelo?
Oh no, I'm not gonna ask him that.
Because of the fight.
Because of the fight, because I've got a trainer, but it would just be great.
No. I mean, I would have asked Canelo, like, yo, can I visit you at your gym and train alongside?
Oh, definitely. I'm sure someone will ask him for me at some point.
For me, I love it.
At some point, yeah.
I love it. Just make sure you invite us to be the cameraman. And New York Bullet, besides your grandfather, of course, who were some of the other legends you looked up that inspired you? Blessings, champ.
Aside from my grandfather and Canelo, because those are my top two, I've always looked up to Mike Tyson. I've always loved Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, and I keep my circles small. So that's about it.
All right.
That's about it.
I got...
Hold on real quick. Oh, I got to read this. We got a $5 super chat from Profound Dreamer who says, when I first heard of you, I hated on you.
Yes.
But I realized I was just jealous. I was such a fan of your grandfather. I wish I was his grandson too.
This person sounds very self-aware and intelligent.
That might be Michelle Rivera.
Oh my God.
Young Tigre in San Antonio says, is Tyson Fury on the Mount Rushmore of heavyweights, in your opinion?
Yes, he is, in my opinion. And he's one of those people that would pop up in that last question of who my favorite fighters are. But when I named Mike Tyson and Sugar Ray Leonard, those are the guys that, like, when I was coming up in boxing, I looked up to. But yeah, no, Tyson Fury's, I think he's one of the all-time great heavyweights, top 5, my opinion.
Info Joe in California. What up, Nico? Good performance last weekend. What is your favorite fight to watch of your grandfather and why?
I think his best fight was Cleveland Williams. My favorite fight is the fight he had with Foreman, because I would watch that with him. So I think it's got sentimental value now at this point. But that's my favorite fight. I love that fight.
Is that a fight that, because you were watching that with your grandfather, that now doesn't feel right watching it without him? Or
I haven't watched it since.
Wow.
So if that means anything, I have not watched it since.
For any particular reason though, like
maybe mentally, I'm like, you know what? There's certain videos that I would watch with my grandfather. That's funny you asked that. There's certain videos I would watch with my grandfather. Like, we had the same videos kind of rolling. I put them on my phone. I haven't watched those since. So he was the last person I've watched certain videos with. And yeah, it's probably because I'm like, it's not the same watching it.
I won't rewatch Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, because that was the last fight my grandfather and I watched together. And
yep,
I'm just
and that makes sense.
And it was funny because my grandfather, he had moved out of his home in Chicago because he retired, but he still had the house, no furniture. Mm-hmm. So I remember going to Walmart to buy a TV to watch the fight and returning the TV the next day.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, it was just to watch the fight. So that's why I was asking. Like, I was curious, like, if you felt that way, that because that was an experience and moments that you guys shared together that maybe you didn't feel the same watching it without him.
Definitely. It's funny you say that because I had never thought about that, but mentally that is what I did. There's a highlight video of my grandfather that every time I would see him, we would throw up because he loved, he would watch me a lot. He would watch my sparring tape. He would watch all my training tapes on my phone and stuff. But the only person he liked watching more than me was him. And he would love watching himself. He would love watching highlights and all that. And we had a particular highlight video. And I have not watched it since, and I will not watch it because it's like, that was our video to watch. And there's certain songs as well that I won't listen to because I would only listen to it with him.
What would he tell you? What would he tell you when you guys would watch his highlights? Was it more of him trying to teach you, or him just appreciating the talent that
he wouldn't say a word when he was watching his highlights? He would just watch at attention. But it was funny to see his reactions for watching his highlights. He was just, you could see him reliving those days and just being proud of himself, I guess.
Why do you think it was a Foreman fight for him? Like, why do you think that was a fight that, because you said that's the fight you guys would always watch together. Why do you think it was, out of all the fights, it was that one?
Because that one was so special. That one was in Zaire. It's got such a history and story behind it. People thought Foreman was actually going to hospitalize or kill my grandfather. So the story is like, these Rocky movie stories, but it's real life. And so it's just, I love a good story. So I would always watch that, seeing how he conquered a giant, an actual giant like Foreman.
Did you always use Ali?
No, I avoided using Ali a lot. Ali's my middle name, so it's like Ali Walsh is almost like my last name now. But I would call myself Nico Walsh for the longest period of time because I didn't want anyone to know.
Why? Do you think you'd be looked at different?
Looked at different, treated different.
So
I
no
just
one
wasn't
knew in
ready.
school?
No, people found out somehow. It's like with that, it's like a sickness. I mean, one person coughs and it just spreads.
Wow.
And that's how it was. I didn't say a word when I was in elementary school. Every teacher and student knew. Everybody knew, and I didn't say a word. My parents didn't say a word. Nobody said anything. So how do they find out? You know, people always find out. And I just realized that, so I've learned to embrace it, which I'm still in the process of. I've got to embrace it.
Yeah, you have to. Definitely in this sport, it's going to make it easier for you, without a doubt. We got Big Supermax in Plainview, Texas. It says, can you see yourself versus Canelo down the line before he retires, and how big would that be?
That would be huge to me. I mean, you mentioned that it would be a money fight. That would be a legacy fight. Because fighting someone that you look up to like that would be ridiculous. I don't know if I see it happening, but to share the ring with him at any capacity, not even just a fight, a sparring match, would mean the absolute world to me, and it doesn't get bigger than Canelo in my mind.
Now, I think from a marketing standpoint, it can happen. Obviously, the good guys, Brad Goodmans and Bruce Champlers, you know, I don't see them rushing you in that direction.
Yeah.
But that is a money fight.
Especially when Canelo says, yeah, I got 6-7 years left.
Yeah.
You know,
I love the fact that he said that, because I hate when we see people we love retire.
That's selfish
Tyson
though,
Fury.
Nico.
I mean,
We are selfish as boxing fans.
We're so selfish. I mean, we are, but that's why when they do retire, I'm like, okay, just let them be, because they're putting their life on the line. They've got families, you know.
I was a huge. I still am a huge fan of Andre Ward, and when he was retiring, I was like, he got a 3-fight, $100 million deal on the table, and he's turning it down to retire. I'm like, I'm happy for him because
Not me. I wanted that Triple G fight, and I would still love to see him fight Canelo right
as
now.
well, yeah.
Yeah, but
Frotch rematch.
I can't. Like you, I cannot be like, you got to come back. He's got a family. He cemented his legacy in boxing already. He doesn't need to pick up gloves at all. For the rest of his life.
I just rather a fight, call it one fight too soon than one fight too late.
Yes,
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
That's what I agree with.
Big Casual. What up, champ? Do you think your little cousin, Layla Ali's son, who favors your grandfather so much, will pick up the sport of boxing?
CJ, I don't think so. He's very, very smart. I don't think he would pick up boxing, but he would be great at whatever he does, because his parents are very talented.
One's
athletic wise,
right? You know, one obviously a former boxer, the other one a former football player.
Yeah,
so.
no. So I mean, he's really smart. I don't think CJ will be picking up boxing, but if he did, he would be good at it.
Dr. Mofongo on Long Island says, greetings, champ. My question is, if Canelo goes undisputed at light heavyweight, would he surpass Floyd's career even though he lost to him? Wish you all the best in the future.
It's very tough to ask, or it's very tough. Everyone's got a different opinion. A lot of people think Floyd is the greatest fighter of our time. I believe Canelo is the greatest fighter of our time already. And I know that'll divide a lot of people, but that's what I think. I think Pacquiao is one of the greatest of our time as well. But it's hard to say. I say yes to that question, though. I think he would surpass Floyd if he did that, in my opinion.
I got Justin White. I yelled the moment you hit that right. Scared my wife. Ha! We know a lot about your grandfather and how that has shaped you. But how about the other half of your family? How does that play into your boxing life?
Honestly, what's unfortunate about my dad's side of the family is that all my grandparents on that side were dead before I was born. So my grandfather was the only grandfather I had. That's why we were so close. You know, it's not like I'm just talking about him because you guys know him. That was my only grandfather. But yeah, no, my dad's side of the family, we still love. I have so many aunts and uncles on my dad's side of the family who are awesome. And Yeah, I mean, they're just super supportive. You just can't you can't be more grateful having a supportive family like that. It's really awesome.
What did your father think of you getting into boxing?
And what does he think? I've been dying to ask, like, since I've heard of, like, how's your, because you're my son. You know, I'm speaking in your, like, I don't know if your father's around. I'm
Yeah, no,
totally
he is.
asking,
Yeah.
but like, if my grown ass son right now that I brought from the East
That's
Coast to the
21
West,
years old.
that's 21, changes his name, like, I got a problem because you're Gibbs. Like, you gotta, just like I said, do you feel some sort of duty to live out that legacy? I feel like my son needs to feel the same thing and keep my last name going because it's only the males that can do it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I never changed my name. I never changed my name's been Nico Ali Walsh since from the day I was born till now.
Okay.
So I've never changed my name, and I never will change my name. Yeah, no, I mean, my dad is just super supportive as well. He understands. At the end of the day, I'm an Ali, yes, but my name is not Nico Ali. It's Nico Ali Walsh. It's like I kind of think of like Michael B. Jordan. People don't call him Michael Jordan.
They do say Michael B. Jordan.
They say Michael B. Jordan. So people say Nico Ali Walsh now, and I'm proud of that because that's my name. And I used to only say Nico Walsh, but to me, that is shying away from who I truly am. I'm Muslim. My family's Muslim, and Ali is, of course, people think of my grandfather, it's boxing, whatever, but Ali is a Muslim name, and I'm proud of that. So I don't want to ever shy away from who I am ever again, and I won't. So Nico Ali Walsh is my name.
So you are an active Muslim? Like, you on your deen?
I'm an active Muslim. I didn't. So Ramadan was during my fight. That was the end of Ramadan. I did not fast for this Ramadan, but I got the okay from my great grandmother to not do that.
All right. Well, we have. That might be it. Do you have any more?
No.
I think we do got a super chat. It looks like from Connecticut.
Coach Myers?
Yes, sir.
Coach Myers would like to know, growing up being, obviously Ali's grandson in school, did anyone test you to see if you could fight because of that?
Yes. I remember one person did.
You beat him up bad.
I didn't fight him at all. I didn't fight him at all because I was just, I'm not I was not a fighter back in school. But that was at the point when I was starting to get into boxing, and I was like, I'm not going to do this. What am I going to do getting, expelled from school? My parents would kill me. So I was like, whatever. I'll take it out in the gym.
I got Andre Griffin that says, does your aunt Layla Ali give you in-ring advice or how to handle the fame that comes?
She did when I was an amateur. She went to a few of my amateur fights that were in LA, and she's the only other person in the family that understands what it's like to be an Ali boxing in today's world. So yeah, no, she gave me advice on that back in the day, and now I've been able to handle the lights and everything so well now that I'm just blessed to have been able to do that, and I'm on a very good track. I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Curious Jorge says, honestly, didn't really admire you, but honestly, I respect you now, champ. You're really humble, and I would like to shake your hand one day. Thumbs up emoji. Looks like
I love the honesty in these in these chats. Yeah, no, I'm sure a lot of people did not like me. I would not have liked me either. I would have assumed that I would have been a certain way, with the kids nowadays who are just idiots, with the way they act. I would have assumed the same thing, but yeah, not me.
I got it.
I was gonna say we got a super chat by Bomani who said, "Did your father from Canada who said, did your grandfather ever share anything about the Foreman fight that was not generally known to the public?"
I wish he did. After the Foreman fight, Don King went up to my grandfather and whispered something to him, and my grandfather looked at him super mad. And Don King was like, whoa, and just backed off. And I was watching that with him, and I was like, I called him, my grandfather, I called him Poppy. I was like, Poppy, what did he say just then? And I zoomed in, and I was like, look at this. What did he say? But he was like, I don't remember. So that was the closest I got to finding out something, but didn't get there.
Well, I think that is all the questions. Nico, please give out your social media. Actually, looks like Steve in the UK slid in last minute. He says, hey, champ, thanks for coming on the show. Have Top Rank got any plans to showcase you over here in the UK?
Oh, yes.
I know you probably see this as corny, but whenever your grandfather is spoken about, people of certain generations always talk about him being dropped by old Henry Cooper. What I'm saying is the casuals over here would lap your last name and story up. What the hell is lap? That's definitely some UK stuff. Good luck in your career, Steve in the UK. I guess that means lap it up.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm lost. I thought he was taking a shot at me for a second.
Yeah, it did
He says
sound
the
like
casuals over here would lap your name and story up. So I guess that they.
Well, Steven, I guarantee he's gonna come in the chat and like.
Yeah, no, but he's usually a straight shooter, so I doubt it was any malice in that. He's definitely asking when you're gonna fight in the UK though, and if that's something you want.
This year is out. I know.
Oh wow.
I know Bob Arum wants me to fight in the UK. Probably not more than I want to fight in the UK. And for real, the UK fans are ridiculous when it comes to my grandfather. I have nothing but respect for them because when the world hated my grandfather, the UK was like, we don't hate him. Mm-hmm. So I have so much respect for the UK. I would love to fight there, hopefully by the end of this year.
All right, well, give out your social media for anybody crazy enough not to be following you. We're going to take a quick intermission, take a picture with Nico Walsh.
Nico
Ali Walsh.
Yes.
Nico Ali Walsh.
to smack you.
About to say Walsh Ali. All right.
My social media, my Instagram is Nico Ali Walsh, at Nico Ali Walsh. My Twitter is at Nico Ali X74, which is just the strangest username. And that's pretty much it. That's where I try to get better with social media and update everybody.
What's in the playlist, champ? What are you using to run to these days?
Man, nothing crazy. I listen to Kid Cudi. I listen to Drake. I listen to Travis Scott, Mac Miller. I am a very cool-tempered guy, and I want to keep it that way.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be right back.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.